Hello, it's Thursday the 13th of August. This is Thought for the Day, and today we're sharing a few thoughts on Psalm 122. My name is Pam Cribbin. I will start by reading Psalm 122. I rejoiced with those who said to me, "Let us go to the house of the Lord. Our feet are standing in your gates, Jerusalem." Jerusalem is built like a city that is closely compacted together. That is where the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, to praise the name of the Lord, according to the statute given to Israel. There stand the thrones for judgment, the thrones of the house of David. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be secure. May there be peace within your walls and security within your citadels. For the sake of my family and friends, I will say, peace be within you. For the sake of the house of the Lord our God, I will seek your prosperity. So to me this psalm has two themes, and the first theme is where and how should we worship God? And the second theme is praying for peace and prosperity. I love it when the verse of a psalm seems to exactly speak to a situation that we're in. And yesterday I was rather amused that the verse came up about the sun shall not harm you by day or the moon by night, in the thought that Helen shared. That rather amused me. Today's psalm, which starts, I rejoiced with those who said to me, let us go to the house of the Lord. That was the psalm that was my reading for the day that we had our first prayer meeting in the church building after several weeks or months of being not able to go. However, as we'll see as we go through, worshipping God doesn't have to take place in a particular building or place. So at the time this psalm was written, the house of the Lord referred to the temple in Jerusalem, which was the place where people from the whole country came together at certain times of the year for the big festivals, which must have been some big occasions. So what about now? Where is the right time, right place to worship God now? This was the question that Samaritan woman had for Jesus when she had her famous conversation with him in John chapter 4. Were they supposed to worship God in Jerusalem, as the Jews said and as this psalm says, or was it a different mountain that the Samaritans taught was the right place? And Jesus' reply was, neither. God wants people who worship him in spirit and in truth. Perhaps that means it's not going to a particular place that enables us to worship, but it's the attitude of our hearts. For many of us, we love the familiarity of meeting together in our building to worship, but this isn't an option for everybody at the moment. And so I think that whether we're currently meeting in the building or not, let's remember that according to Jesus, it's not where we worship, but how we worship that's important. And then this psalm talks about praying for the peace of Jerusalem. And as we read through the second half of the psalm, I would again like to play the prayer of St. Francis that Graham played for us on Wednesday's Thought for the Day. Make me a channel of your peace. And you can listen to it yourself at the end if you have the opportunity to do that. So the psalm mentions praying for security, peace and prosperity. He also mentions family and friends. For the writer, Jerusalem is a very special place, and some of us, as the writer asks, might like to say a prayer for the peace of Jerusalem, which is not always a place we associate with peace in these days. For others of us, we might like to pray for peace in another area of the world that's special to us or on our hearts. And for others, it might be the areas of family and friends where we need to pray for peace. So I wonder if we should take a moment to pray now and reflect, are there any of my relationships in need of restoration and peace? And we can bring these before God as the psalm encourages us to. In some cases, we may realize we need to offer an apology about a certain situation. In others, perhaps we might think of a step we can take towards restoration, like an olive branch. And in some cases, there may be nothing we can do right now except to pray. As Paul said in Romans 12 verse 18, if possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. So Paul seems to recognize that it may not always be possible, but he says, if possible. And if all your family relationships are in order, then we can say a prayer for peace and prosperity for other situations we may have a concern for, remembering that true peace ultimately comes from knowing Jesus. And may we all be peacemakers wherever we are as we go about our lives today.